Benefit Cosmetics. They came out with a concealer, my dears, and it's called, here's the name, listen to it, Benefit Boi-Ing Cakeless Concealer. You've heard of the phrase cake face. I'm sure you're very much aware of that term, cake face. Well, this one is supposed to not cake anything up. And its claims, well, it's supposed to be light and creaseless. Is this really creaseless? Does this actually have an easy application method? Does it actually have a good shade range? And, well, it looks like a pencil. Why not a cake? Questions, my dears. So, if you're curious about this new concealer that just came out in the market, and if it'd be, well, actually worth it and made just for you, my dears, then keep watching, my dears. Keep watching. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my dears, and thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and thank you for pushing the little play button. Welcome. I really appreciate it. Now, once again, if you're new to my channel, thank you so much for coming to my channel. I basically do a lot of makeup reviews, makeup tutorials, unboxings, and I am a musician as well and working on my music. And I do have a couple of covers and a few acting stuff down in my channel as well. So I have a lot of those, but mostly makeup related, at least for now. But thank you for joining me. Today, I'll be showing you my review, my demo / application type of methods. You'll see why I say methods with an S. About the Benefit Boi-Ing Cakeless Concealer. I have it on my face, my dears, and you will see how it was achieved in just a second. Now, you're gonna see in another clip that I'm in a whole different direction, but that's because the sun wasn't so much, but I had to move, and so as you can tell, I film outside. The sun is gonna be a little issues. I know, causing issues, my dears. So I do apologize if this is being a little funky. It won't last long, I promise. I had to keep moving because of the sun. I know, bad timing for filming, but you know, things happen. So, but before we begin, I just want to remind you, please consider subscribing and remember to push the little notification bell, because it will let you know when my videos are up and loaded, my dears. And I load usually every Monday to Friday. And if I happen to skip, I have a good reason, I promise. But it's usually Monday to Friday. And also, please remember, and it's also down in the description below, just in case you forget, please follow me on all of my social medias on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and even Snapchat, because it all has the exact same handle, Enidbluesinger. And also follow me on my IMDb page, even though it's not completely active in a while because I've been trying to work on YouTube and my music and stuff like that. I will be going back into acting soon at my IMDb page, Enidbluesinger. So, for no further ado, let's go straight into the new Benefit Cakeless. Cakeless Concealer. And let's find out if this is worth it for you. See you in just a second. Alright, my dears, now that you're nice, close, and personal, I know. Yes, I know. Welcome. Now, I just want to go ahead and tell you that for this video, I'm just going to show you the actual concealer. I already have primer, foundation on. I'm not completely barefaced, just not completely. And I do have eyeshadows on. Now, the eyeshadows that I do have on, I'm actually testing them out because I will be doing a feature video about it. I did go ahead and post on my Instagram, Facebook, all of my social videos, this picture right over here, that I will be testing out the Physicians Formula, like literally holiday collection. So that video will be coming to you soon, my dears. And I'm testing out their shadows, and in a minute, like I said, after we do this little concealer, I'm going to be finishing putting on the rest of the products that's in there. There are highlighters, or bronzers, blah, 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 lipsticks, and coming back. So just want to let you know what was in my eyes if you were curious. Alright, so down to application, and application is going to require a mirror because I don't know about you, but I can't see anything much from the little viewfinder. And just in case you haven't seen my last video that I basically did my empties video for October, I do have a different way that I'm filming. It's more straight, it's not off balance, and a better angle. I'm still learning. I did get a lot of my information from a very good friend of mine that's absolutely amazing. He's intelligent, he's talented, he's a filmmaker, producer, he has great ideas, he's a script writer, and a fantastic musician, my dears. I mean, he is just incredible. If you have any projects that you want to do, I'll link his Instagram down in the description below. His name is Lou Metis, and believe me, he is just the sweetest guy you'll ever met, and he knows like every rules front and backwards. So, and you know, I'm still working with him to see what I can do to improve, and if you have any ideas, let me know, comment below. Now, to application. Now, the shade that I picked out, their shade range is a little bit weird to me, is number 2 NF02. So it's one of the light, I think it's either the first or the second lightest. Now, it does come in this cute little box, and I don't have the box actually near me because my little self threw it away, but it looks like this. I know, you like the little cake picture? Yeah. And this one, it actually looks like a pencil. I would think that would make it more like a cake, but okay, anyways, application, because I did not like powder my foundation. I just never do. Now, basically, this is how it looks like. This is a very soft, and I do mean soft, and thin concealer. Okay, this is how it looks like in one. Now, it doesn't cover a lot. It's not a full coverage concealer. I'm gonna tell you that right now. It is not a full coverage concealer. As you can tell, you can still see quite a bit of my skin underneath. And I'm gonna go ahead and use my Real Technique sponge, bounce it in. And that's the coverage. As you can tell, it's very nice coverage, but even though I don't have very intense, and I do not have like intense dark circles or anything like that, they're very light. But even with my very light circles, you can kind of still see some darkness. So this is not the type of concealer that you're going to be, you know, oh, one swipe. It's not Shape Tape. It's just not Tarte Shape Tape. It's just not, my dears. It's a very light concealer. So if you just want just a little something there to cover up, but you don't want like really full coverage, you want something nice, lightweight, this is good. But for me, I'm a full coverage queen, and I need a little more. But it is buildable. So I'm going to put a second coat on. Now, I'm sure as you can tell, even with that, it does build, but still not very much. It's not that full coverage because I'm literally having you look at my face extremely close. You see right here? You can still see some darkness under there. So as I indicated, if you want something, just something light, that works, but don't expect this to be medium coverage. It is really, really light. Now this side, I'm actually going to use a different method. I'm actually going to wait. I'm going to give myself about 2 minutes. I'm going to apply it here, and I'm going to let it wait because it will give you a little bit more coverage. You can do other things, but it will give you a little bit more coverage. So I'm actually going to do that method right over here, just for you can see the actual difference. And I'm going to do it on the other places on my face as well, because I just like that full coverage. And also I want to do that different application method just to see if you see a difference. Alright, my dears, and we're going to wait for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to blend in and see if that helps us give a little bit more coverage. Alright, my dears, it's been about 2 minutes, and so I'm going to show you a little bit of a different application method. So with the Real Technique sponge, I'm going to go ahead and blend this out, and I want you to see the difference between this one that we kind of layered up with no waiting, and tell me if you see a difference. And then I'm going to be using a brush for the rest of the concealer, just for you can see the different application method of waiting and with the brush. And then of course, just to even things out, I'll be using a beauty blender. Now I want you to take a look at my face. This one I did it not waiting, just a little bit of the beauty blender, which I think that's what the majority of us do. Look at the coverage and application. Now look at my right side. This one I'll wait it a little bit. I use a brush and a beauty blender. Do you see a difference? Comment below. Now for me, I do see more coverage when you wait. So with this one, like I said, if you're a full coverage queen, I would say wait. The only thing though, I mean, it covers. For me, I want it to be a little bit more coverage, but it depends on your preferences. And this is one of the ones, if you do like the coverage side, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. And so for me, just for I don't look completely off today, I'm actually gonna wait a little bit and do the same for this side. And then I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about this creaseless situation. Give me a second. Alright, I went ahead, I used the brush. I look a little bit more even, but as you can tell, even with that, you can still see a little bit more of here. Now, this next step, here's the thing I need to tell you. Even though it's advertised as a creaseless concealer, I always advise, that's the keyword, advise, to please set your concealer even with this lovely creaseless, because it will start to break down. I don't know, but I mean, that's normal-ish. So here's the thing that I noticed. I will be using powder today. I will be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Loose Setting Powder in Translucent. Here's the thing that I want you to be aware. You can set this with the powder and it will stay. It will. But for some reason towards midday, it will start to crease. It's weird. I know, it will start to crease. But I'm going to show you another way where it won't crease at all, and it will give you a little bit more coverage if that is what you're looking for. But if you do not want extra coverage, but you don't want it to crease the next step, you may or may not work. So basically, let's go ahead and set underneath the eye. Alright, I went ahead and I did set everywhere. Ooh, little powder there. Everywhere that I do have the setting, everywhere that I put the concealer. Now, like if you don't know a difference, setting is more like just keeping the concealer in place for it won't move. Like I said, if you just do this, that's fine. It will last you a few hours, but it will break down. So the claim, it doesn't really live up to its claim. It really doesn't. It's just a very lightweight, liquidy foundation that's not a lot of full coverage, just letting you know. Now, the only way that I was able to find to where this actually stays longer, and for me, if you're a full coverage type of person, that you'd be a little bit more satisfied, is if you bake. So I'm going to go back into this powder, and I'm actually going to bake underneath the eyes with the Real Technique sponge. Going to leave it that way, it's nice and baked. Now, the reason I didn't bake the other sides, because it actually doesn't need it. Your makeup will actually stay. Here's the weird part. I don't know if because our skin has different textures. I'm not sure. I couldn't tell you. I'm not a scientist or a dermatologist. I don't know. But if you can bake the rest of your face that you don't want to move, but for this, the way it applies is not necessary. You see mostly the issues underneath the eyes. So I'm going to leave it baking. I'm going to leave it baking. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to step away. I'm going to go finish up the rest of my face. And then when I come back, I'm actually going to remove the bake. That way you can actually see the difference, the before and after. That way you can make your decision. And we'll talk a little bit more of how I got into the steps of different applications and see if this is actually worth it for you, my dears. So I'll see you. Well, for me, it'll be in a bit, but for you, it'll be less than a second. Alright, my dears, I am back, and I know you're probably like, but where's the door? Well, I came back, I tried to finish the rest of my makeup on, which so far it's impressing me. I'll give you more of my thoughts on that on a future video. Like I said, I am testing something right now. I'm always testing something. Anyways, my point being, I had to move because the sun, I don't know if you're able to see over here. Remember, I can't control the sun. I do film outside. It is like blasting, and you wouldn't be able to see. So I kind of had to switch my direction a little bit, and for that way you can see me and see the results. Now let me pull you in a little bit closer. That way you can see everything. As you can tell, everything's done, and I'm going to show you what it looks like after it has completely done baking. Okay, now if you can tell, it has a lot more coverage and it's a lot more smoother and airbrushed. It's very nice, isn't it? I want you to see how it actually looks like. Much more full coverage, isn't it? Yeah. Now let's go straight into my review. Thoughts on this particular concealer would be good. Alright, my dears, and I'm back. As I stated, I had my hair down. I have a cute little bling thing. I'm sorry, I love anything bling. In case you haven't been on my channel, you know I love bling. Now, as you can tell, I'm going to try to wrap this up because the sun wants to just be getting on my nerves. So, the sun just wants to be getting on my nerves, my dears. Anyways, back to the final review. Now, as you saw, the Benefit Boi-Ing Cakeless Concealer has its pros and cons. This is what I think this is going to be for. If you don't have a lot of dark circles or a lot of things to cover up, you just want something nice and light to even things out, this is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. The thing about this, at least on me, now keep in mind I do have normal skin. It doesn't last like an entire, 12, 14-hour day, my dears. It does not. At least on me, it doesn't. But I think it works well for like a regular 8-hour work day, school day going on. I think it's good if you want something light. But if you're the type of person that have like a lot of deep circles, or if you have things you want to cover up or whatsoever, this depends how much you want to maintenance this. Because as you saw from my demonstration, if you put a lot of this on, it really doesn't do a lot of coverage. At least for me, I don't have like very deep, dark, intense under eye circles. I do not. If you do not, it's not going to cover it. You saw with my lightness, it like they barely covered it, And I do suffer from rosacea, and it just, you saw it didn't cover much of anything, my dears. Ooh, now the sun wants to cooperate. I don't know. Anyways, back to the review. And you saw when I waited, you can wait 1-2 minutes to put the concealer on. It does give you a fuller coverage. So if you're okay with that type of coverage and you're okay with waiting and doing something else with your makeup, that works as well. You can go ahead and just set everything. I did that as well, and it will work. It does last. It just won't give you the intense coverage. Now, if you want like the intense coverage and a very much lasting effect, like if you're gonna wear this like out at night or everything, I would recommend the waiting and the baking situation. But if you have dry to extra dry skin, I know baking is not exactly your forte because you already have dry skin, and it will dry you out and it will give you more of a matte complexion, so I wouldn't recommend this. So as for me, would I ever buy this concealer again? No, not because it's a bad product. As you saw, it's a very nice product, very nice and lightweight. Or if you're have the type of skin that you don't really have a lot of issues that you want to cover up or anything like that, or if you're a type of person who just doesn't like that much maintenance, because this one you do have to baby it and maintenance it up to the coverage and lasting power that you desire in your life, my dears, in your life. Then from my reasons you decide if this would be good for you or not. It doesn't have the full intense coverage that I would like. It's lightweight. I do like that. It doesn't feel like you have like tons of makeup on, but me, I'm kind of used to makeup, so to me that really doesn't make a difference. It may make a difference for you, my dears. It may. This as well, the shade range is pretty good. It's not fantastic, but it's pretty good. So I think you'd be able to find your shade range in this. It has cute packaging, it's easy to open up. It does have like a baby doll foot applicator, so you'll be able to apply it perfectly fine. The lasting power is okay. It's normal. You just, like I said, you can either set it or bake on top, depends on your skin. If you have oily skin, I do not think this would be good. Like I said, you kind of have to put tons and tons of powder on it. If you have dry to extra dry skin, I won't recommend it because of the baking factor. But if you have normal skin, you can. You just fall into how much coverage do you actually want, and if heavy to light concealer is actually a factor to you. And if you're okay with actually setting to, well, if you want full coverage, baking with this particular product, that'll be up to you. Like I said, for me, because of those reasons, I wouldn't. But if you wouldn't, well, with those little bitty factors, it's up to you if you would. So that's basically my review of the Benefit Boi-Ing Cakeless concealer, my dears. Now, if you made it to the end of my video, as always, good job. I'm so proud of you. And also, just in case you haven't already, please consider subscribing and comment below, because YouTube likes the engagement and I love it because I get to know what kind of videos you like, my dears. So, for no further ado, one last thing. Be safe, be kind, be careful. I love you, I miss you, and I'll see you on the next video. See you soon.